Big dog on tour.
Of a year old now. Anyway, very good.
Liz's loophole lacks legality.
Northern Ireland has been without a devolved government since February, due specifically to the protocol.
And Bray-zen misuse of the law. These are the interesting times. Hello all and welcome to the Interesting Times, a show that likes to take a sideways swipe at politics right here in the UK. So, following last week's show, the Conservatives lost both by-elections, and this was one spanking the Tories didn't ask for. In Wakefield, the seat was won by former NHS worker, a man who promises to make up in integrity what he lacks in eyebrows, Simon Lightwood, who won by a stonking 6,000 votes. The real surprise, though, came in Tiverton and Honiton, where a by-election was called after tractor shagger Neil Parish stepped down, and the Lib Dems overturned a Tory majority of over 24,000 to record their third by-election victory in a year. Johnson, of course, was not on hand to see any of this, although he did unveil a likely vote winner for the next general election.
People will continue to beat me up.
Count me in. And he bizarrely went further when he insisted he was politically safe and even thinking about 2030, although that might be the age range for his next conquest. No, Johnson decided to go somewhere where he knew people didn't hate him. Abroad. Starting in Rwanda, where they were grateful for the £1.5 million they would be receiving for planes that weren't flying in, Johnson defended the idea of deporting refugees to the country.
Wanted to change condescending attitudes towards this country.
They're basing their criticisms on a perception, perhaps a stereotype of Rwanda that is now outdated.
Tell me about it. There's this one bloke that called him pickaninnies with watermelon smiles. Johnson then left Rwanda to fly to Germany for the G7 summit, where he stood with the other G7 leaders like it's a wedding photo, presumably Johnson's next one. And they got to talk about the war in Ukraine. And let's be clear, Putin, when you mess with Britain on this, you are messing with historical military genius. Churchill, Montgomery, Horatio Nelson, Sir Francis Drake.
Jackie Todd.
T.E. Lawrence, Richard the Lionheart, Alfred the Great, Herbert Kitchener, and of course our very own Tafafel the really terrible. And finally, Johnson went to a NATO meeting in Madrid, where of course Ukraine again dominated the conversation, although there was time for Johnson and Turkish President Erdogan to pose for this delightful photo. No, you're an authoritarian dictator trashing the reputation of your country. Hey, have you noticed that this government doesn't use un and ill enough? Und and ill. Just two little words that honestly could help them so much. I'll prove it. Here is Liz Truss talking about the breaking up of bits of the Northern Ireland Protocol.
I can absolutely confirm to my right honourable friend that this bill is both necessary and legal.
Now that may sound deranged until you add the un and ill. Let's try it again.
I can absolutely confirm to my right honourable friend that this bill is both necessary and legal.
Quick side note, Liz has no legal qualification, none. Expecting Liz Truss to be able to handle international legal matters makes as much sense as is asking a unicorn to find the benefits of Brexit. Oh. Wait. She then had to sit in front of a Commons Foreign Affairs Committee where things didn't really improve.
In the Gulf trade document that you just published, you say the government will continue to hold those who violate human rights to account. How are you doing that?
Well, these issues are raised regularly.
You
and
have
what
personally?
our aim, I have personally, yes.
Well, your spokesman said that you hadn't.
I have to come back to the committee on the precise timing of that, but I
Well,
certainly
anything.
have
Just
raised
tell us
it.
anything that you've said on human
Well, I
rights.
certainly have raised it when I was in...
Go on, tell us
I'm
one
just
now.
trying to remember my most recent visit, but I can assure you I have raised it.
Before picking up her phone and saying, "What's that, Nana? You've fallen down some stairs and can't get up? Of course I'll come straight away." Anti-Brexit protester Steve Bray is known as being a bit of a general nuisance around Westminster. Steve has been campaigning against Brexit for the last 6 years, including trying to disrupt interviews and live broadcasts. And he plays loud music. It's dissent. And up to Tuesday, that was all fine. And then the Police, Crime, Sentencing and Courts Act came into law that evening. And lo and behold, Wednesday, Steve had his speakers taken.
This is not law! This is not law!
Apparently the noise from them was so loud that they couldn't hear the karaoke machine playing in at number 10. When asked to give his name and address, Steve was reported to have said Mickey Mouse, number 10 Downing Street. Which is clearly ridiculous, although the current resident is managing to completely Donald Duck the economy. So will this stop Steve?
Would you, if you got some new amplifiers, would you do it again?
Look, I can't possibly say what I'm bringing tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's going to be Brian Blessed after he swallowed a foghorn. And that's it. No time to talk about the fact that the Scots have had enough.
I can announce that the Scottish Government is proposing that the independence referendum be held on the 19th of October 2023.
Yes, Nicola Sturgeon has proposed a date for the second independence referendum. She's going to ask the UK government for a Section 30 order to have a second referendum, and they'll probably say no. Next, she'll go to the Supreme Court to see if she can legally do this, and they'll probably also say no. So she's going to ask that the next general election, the SNP will stand on a single issue. Vote for the SNP, you vote for independence. And the Scots will say, it's close. The last poll had it 46% for independence and 45% against. But honestly, another year or two of this, they'll be using swords and punts to literally break away from the UK. No time to talk about this exchange between Dominic Raab and Angela Rayner at PMQs.
Straight question. She's normally a straight-shooting politician. Do you like the RMT? She said, I'm going to have to go now. I've got a train to catch. She talks about working people.
What a winker. No time to talk about the fact that on last week's show I mentioned Johnson trying to get his then press officer, and bit on the side, Carrie Symonds, as she was then, a job in the Foreign Office, which by all accounts was in return for a job she was giving him. Yes, BJ was getting a BJ in his office when an MP walked in on them. And we actually have a picture of that MP after they've seen this. So, will there be an investigation? And will everybody be expected to give oral evidence? Well, let's hope they all come clean. And that's it for another week. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you are enjoying these vids, please don't forget to subscribe and hit all the notification bell. And I'll see you all next week. Take care.